With President Trump taking office, some big changes lurk around the corner that have the possibility to have a huge impact on our economy, taxes, the stock market, and Social Security. And all of that affects how and when you retire. So, in today's video, I'm going to break it down so you can understand what this means for you, and I will give you some strategies to secure your retirement. And I will have a bonus tip at the end for my ambitious friends that are listening. Let's dive in. First, let's talk about the economy. When Trump was president before, he made some big changes to help businesses grow. One of those being reducing taxes on corporations, hoping they would use that money to create more jobs and ultimately stimulate the economy. And it worked. According to the Bureau of Economic Analysis, in 2018, the US economy grew by 2.9%, followed in 2019 by 2.3%. Trump also changed some trade deals with other countries to help American businesses. He worked out a new deal with Mexico and Canada called the USMCA, which replaced NAFTA, really just aiming to help American workers and business owners. According to uschamber.com, trade with Canada and Mexico supports 12 million American jobs, and 49 US states list Mexico or Canada as one of their top 3 merchandise export markets. With Trump back in office, we have the chance to see even more of these business-friendly policies, which has the chance to stimulate the economy even more. Now we've got to talk taxes. During Trump's first term in office, he did reduce taxes for business owners and wealthy individuals through the TCJA Act that passed in December of 2017. This basically helped business owners keep more of their money. And for everybody else, they slightly reduced marginal tax brackets. If you take a look at this chart from taxpolicycenter.org, you will notice in 2017, the highest marginal tax bracket was at 39.6%. And you'll also notice that that got reduced down to 37% in 2018 during Trump's first term in office. Now, the TCJA Act is set to expire at the end of 2025, which is just 11 months from now. Trump might fight to keep these tax cuts given that he is now in office, and he might even introduce some additional tax breaks for the middle class, which ultimately just means you get to keep more of your money. But there is a catch. When it comes to taxes, you cannot give in one area and not take from another. According to the usdebtclock.org, the US is currently $36 trillion in debt and counting. If the government keeps cutting taxes at the rate they are without finding ways to pay for it, we could end up with much higher national debt in the future, which ultimately means they're gonna need to raise taxes on us later on. Now let's talk about the stock market. Back when Trump was in office before COVID, the stock market went up a lot. The S&P 500, which measures the top 500 companies in the United States, reached new highs. And this was partially because businesses got tax cuts, which gave them more money to invest into the company and ultimately grow and make more profits. According to an article by Business Insider, the Dow Jones Industrial Average returned 56% during Trump's presidency. This is an annualized gain of 11.8%, which is the best performance for any Republican president since Calvin Coolidge during the Roaring 1920s. With Trump back in office, the stock market might continue to do well because businesses might continue to get tax breaks if he extends the TCJA Act. According to this article by the taxpolicycenter.org, the TCJA permanently lowered corporate income tax rates from 35% to 21%. Now, there is a chance this could get tricky. During President Trump's first term in office, he made investors nervous with his policies on trade and other issues because some countries were making their own trade deals separately instead of relying on the United States. According to this article by Vox.com, this term, Trump pledges to put a tariff of between 10 to 20% on all imports into the US, along with a 60% tariff on Chinese goods and a 25% import surcharge on Canadian and Mexican wares. This protectionist agenda is far more radical than anything Trump attempted during his first term. It threatens to hamper American tech companies by increasing the cost of semiconductors, depress stock valuations by reducing economic growth and fueling a global trade war, and disrupt the US auto industry, whose supply chains were built around the presumptive duty-free trade with Mexico. If all these tariffs go through, we do run the risk of the stock market being negatively affected. Now let's talk Social Security. One controversial idea President Trump has proposed is cutting taxes on things like tips, overtime pay, and Social Security benefits. While the goal of these tax cuts is to provide immediate financial relief to workers, That could lead to a substantial reduction in federal revenue, which could simply accelerate the depletion of the Social Security Trust Fund. In addition to that, in this article by Business Insider, Trump's vow to carry out a mass deportation of people living in the US illegally could make matters more difficult because the Social Security Fund is financed largely by American workers. The Social Security Administration told BI that deportations could cut annual cash flow by $20 billion, potentially reducing retirees' benefits over time. This could have a big impact on the money that the government collects and how it affects not just your retirement, but the paychecks of millions of Americans that rely on this system today. So as you can tell, everything we've discussed so far is interconnected. If you tip down one domino, they all come crashing down. So now let's talk about how this could affect your money and what you can do to protect yourself. If the stock market continues to do well, people that invest in it will see their money grow. But keep in mind, policy changes and controversies can affect the market and cause it to go up and down. Now, when it comes to taxes, they could stay the same through 2026 or possibly even go down. But with programs like Social Security underfunded and the country currently $36 trillion in debt and counting, for how long do you think taxes will stay down? If you aren't concerned about taxes rising or stock market volatility, accounts like 401ks might be a good fit for you because your money grows in the stock market tax deferred, so you pay taxes in retirement when you take the money out. If you aren't concerned about taxes, but you are afraid of the stock market crashing, maybe you're getting close to retirement, check out an FIA, a fixed index annuity. With this account, your money grows mirroring the stock market, so you get a 0% floor so you can't lose money. I've linked a video above for you to learn a little bit more. If you think taxes could go up, but you aren't concerned about the stock market crashing, a Roth 401k or a Roth IRA might be a good fit for you because your money grows in the stock market, accessible to you in retirement, all tax-free. And if you're fearful of both, taxes going up and stock market volatility, check out an IUL, an Index Universal Life. An IUL is just simply a permanent life insurance policy that grows a cash value inside of it linked to the performance of a stock market index like the S&P 500 that we talked about earlier. But they have a unique feature where they give you a 0% floor. So when the market goes negative, you don't lose any money. But that is in exchange for a little piece of your profit. And due to the tax codes that govern life insurance policies that I have listed above, the money inside your policy will grow and compound, accessible to you in the future at any time, at any age, without paying any penalty. I've linked a video above for you to learn a little bit more. And one bonus tip, as promised for my ambitious friends that are listening, remember, President Trump at his core is a businessman. If the TCJA Act gets renewed, that means continual tax cuts for business owners. So friends, it might behoove you to look into starting a small business for yourself this year to take advantage of some of the tax breaks that would be coming your way. I've taken the liberty of listing up here all of the businesses that I could think of that have a really low barrier to entry. They are work from anywhere positions and very minimal startup cost. Now, I am a little biased here, but I do truly believe if your goal is to make more money, I don't believe there's any better industry to do that in than the financial services industry, and the internet agrees with me. According to this article by VNet Express, out of the 2,781 billionaires on the Forbes 2024 list, 427 of them, or 15%, derive their wealth from the financial services industry. Even I'm looking for people to come and work with me as my business and my team grows all across the United States. You can simply click the link in my bio or in the description below to learn more. So what does all of this mean for you? Well, with President Trump now in office, we could see a growing economy with possible tax cuts. But remember, if the government doesn't get a handle on its money, we could see higher taxes potentially in the future. The key is diversification. You never want to rely on just one source of income or one type of account. That way you can stay ahead of the changes that could be coming your way. Now, keep in mind, I am not an economist, I am not a tax professional, and I am definitely not a politician. I'm just some random girl on YouTube that is sharing with you some of the research that I have done to better prepare myself as I am talking to my clients in the financial services industry about how to prepare for planning for retirement. That being said, this video is not meant to be taken as investment advice. But if you would like a consultation to see if what we've talked about in this video could pertain to you, my team and I were based in the United States. All you have to do is click the link in my bio or in the description below to get access to our calendar to schedule a complimentary client consultation with us. And if you like this video and you want to see more videos just like it, I release a new video every single week and I wouldn't want you to miss it. Simply just click that subscribe button or hit the bell to turn on notifications so that you get notified when my next video comes out. Thanks again for watching, and I'll see you next week on YouTube.